What's up, guys? How's it going? MikeTheTech here, and we got another big one for you. Today we are opening up or unboxing the Asus Tough Gaming VG3B series. This is a 34-inch monitor, and this is one of the best budget-friendly gaming monitors you can get right now. Asus promises that perfect mix of speed, style, and that tough durability. So we're gonna open this up, see what it looks like, and try it out. All right, so let's lay this down. Move this over here and start opening this up because this is quite the box. All right, so now that it's open, we're going to try and pull this out here. We've got a USB cable because this does come with a hub and a few USB ports. We have our hardware here to screw it into the base or tighten up the base. We have our user manual, and we have a DisplayPort cable, not HDMI. That's nice to see. All right, so the monitor is secured. It's out of the box. Let's see what we've got here. We've got the stand to hold onto the monitor itself. Let's go ahead and open up these cables so we don't have all these bags everywhere. We have another user manual here, or it looks like, this is the Asus VIP member notice, so that's pretty cool. Make sure you sign up and register and everything. We have the base, which is a standard V shape here. Let's go ahead and open this up. It's going to add a lot to the aesthetic and give you a lot of space on your desk. Here it is, and you can see that this just pops right in and screws into the back here. And there you go. You'll notice that is a very low profile because it connects to the bottom of the monitor, making sure you don't have a ton of space taking up the back as well. That is very useful, especially for these curved monitors that can tend to take up a lot of space. And finally, we have the power cord. Every monitor needs a power cord. So let's see what this actually looks like here. And there we go. Look at that profile. Wow. Let's get rid of all this. And we'll peel this off here and check that out. That is a very nice profile for this monitor. Very clean, sharp design, and then that tough gaming logo in the back. That's very, very cool. So let's go ahead and take this out. One trick I learned is to actually screw this in here. And by doing that first, we can actually use the mount to assist us in lifting the monitor and standing it up, instead of trying to put this onto the stand and screw it in. So we'll just take a second to open this red bag and screw these 4 screws into the back of the monitor here. I'll go ahead and record on my other phone, and that way you can get a close-up view of how this actually works. So all you got to do is screw those 4 in to secure the mount. While we're here, you can also see that it actually has a 4-port high-speed USB hub, a 3.5mm audio jack, 2 display ports, and 2 HDMI ports. Quite the array back there. And then, of course, the power supply unit here. So nothing to it but to do it. Let's go ahead and screw these in. And the last one here. All right, I may be wondering, if this is the mount, how does it mount on an arm? Well, it actually has these filled in little rubber grommets that you can pull out and actually use for standard mounting. So it does have a VESA mount in the back, but otherwise this mount is going to help you for any horizontal layouts you have. So let's go ahead and pull this out. And just like that. Look how nice this monitor is. This is 34 inches. It's Quad HD 1440p at 180 hertz. So not only is this a massive display, but it is a very, very fast display, being able to handle PS5's 120 hertz and far above, going into PC realms at 180, which is just crazy for this size and resolution. Taking a look at the specs here, it also has FreeSync Premium Pro 125% sRGB display, HDR 400, and a 1 millisecond response time. So with this 1500R curved monitor design, it is an absolute gaming beast for a moderate desk setup. Obviously, there's crazy 49 inch monitors like the ones we reviewed before, but being a 21:9 aspect ratio, this is quite the productivity and gaming machine here, I definitely recommend it. Today we're looking at the Viame Rec Dot. This is not your standard set of earbuds or earphones because while they are technically earphones, they do quite a bit more that you wouldn't expect. We have reviewed quite a few different types of AI transcription devices, and this is actually one of them. So it's an earbud that you keep in your ear, and when you go into a meeting, when you're in a class that you're studying, when you're watching a video and you're trying to learn something, you can just tap your ear. It'll start recording on its own as you're listening, and then later on, you can go into your phone and get your full transcription, meeting notes, outlines, study points, whatever you'd like to do right from the app. So this is basically a always available recorder that you can use to not only listen to things through the earbuds, which they're actually quite powerful on their own, but you can actually record external and internal audio as well. So I'm going to unbox this. I'm going to go through some of the features here, and we're going to try them out. All right, so very nice unboxing experience here. It has a nice foam magnetic insert here, and the charger itself, and the two earphones. Let me go ahead and pull this top part out because I know there's accessories in there. I'm going to take this plastic off of the charging case. And look at that. It has an inlaid metal look to it. And it's kind of hard to see on camera, I would assume, but it's actually, there's some depth to that. That's really cool. And then, of course, you have the shiny sides. We have a button here to tell when it's paired or battery power. We have the USB-C charging port right there. And to open it, all you do is you push up. I've never seen them open like that. I was actually trying to open it like a clamshell, but these ones you just push up. And the really cool thing is, let's say you don't have them in your ear and you still want to record a meeting and you don't want to seem like you're on your headphones or listening to music while you're in the meeting. So you can actually put your earphones in this and press that record button right there on the inside, and they'll both start recording in table mode. How wild is that? So let's go ahead and pull these out. So these are very quality feeling. They feel like AirPods, basically. There's some gray AirPods. They've got the charging ports on the side instead of the bottom, which is actually pretty good. We have the mic port on the bottom. I can show you kind of a close-up here, but you can get a good view on the big screen as well. And we're just going to drop these into the charging casing and see what they look like there. You can see we have a multicolor LED on the inside that shows what battery level it's at. Let's go ahead and continue in the box. We have our user manual and quick start guides here. When the light is green, it means there's sufficient power. When it's red, it means it needs to be charged. And you'll be able to get real-time transcription services. So when you're in a phone call or a teleconference, when you're on a face-to-face conversation, and when audio and video recording is on, and when you are, and any other time you're on your phone and have the Viame app installed, you can use the record button and it will translate live anything that is being said. And this is not just in English as transcription, but I did say translate, it can translate as well. Not only that, but the earbuds don't have to be close to your phone. They actually have storage on the earbuds themselves. So you can record on the earbuds and then go into the app and actually transfer it to your phone, which is a great functionality, especially if the earbuds are further away and you aren't within the 30 feet on Bluetooth. So let's go and continue. We have some earbud tips. So pulling these out, it looks like they fell a little bit, but we do have extra small and large tips. Yep, they're all in there. And of course, we've got, oh, that's cool, a USB C-to-C charging cable with the logo here and a nice orange and black color scheme. You're not going to lose that one. Very aesthetic choice there. And that's it. Let's go through some of the features. We have one press recording, 36 hours of battery life, 48 decibel noise reduction on the ChatGPT meeting assistants, high-res audio, and of course, as we discussed, live transcription as well. And the cool thing about it is it's not just regular transcription. If you see here, it actually has speaker identification as well. So during the meeting, if everyone introduces themselves, it recognizes their voices and continues to label who's speaking at what times. And that's super useful if you're having a meeting with more than a few people. It can get really difficult to figure out from transcriptions alone. So yeah, absolutely solid device. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in and see what it sounds like. So immediately they were found. Let's go ahead and take these out. Oh, all right. So no lie here. I know these aren't meant to be headphones just for listening. And I mean, I'm sure they are. They're meant to be an all-in-one AI transcription device here. But these are probably the best sounding earbuds I've received in a long time. Um, the price point is a little higher, so it is on par with higher end earbuds for sure. But I thought a lot of companies might say, hey, we have this really cool anytime transcription service on the device. We don't really need to make a super high end speaker or microphone in it because, we already have this other cool feature that people are buying it for. They did not skimp out anywhere between the cable, the sound quality, the bass. I know these are not open ear, they're in ear head earbuds, so they do have a slight advantage on the bass side, but these sound really, really good. I'm actually a big fan, and I'm going to use these a lot more than I thought. And we have another great camera setup for you, a security system by Camstro, and it uses the KuCam app. If you've used that before, this is a very, very cool setup with 4K video across both cameras and a base hub so you can store all that video data off the camera itself without having to pay for cloud services. That is really, really cool. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at what's inside because there's quite a bit in here. This is a 2-camera system with 64 gigs of internal storage on that base hub. And it is completely solar powered. I'm gonna have to get a knife. I can't actually open this. So 64 gigs of storage on the base hub, which means it's going to store quite a bit before it runs out. And of course, you can set it to looping so that once it runs out of storage, it goes to the oldest video and deletes that when it continues going on. So you won't have to worry about it just stopping recording all of a sudden and not having recent events. So we'll go ahead and open this up. Oh, I forgot to mention, it does have 64 gigs of internal storage, but it also has a micro SD card slot in the base station itself. So you can add an extra micro SD card up to 128 gigabytes. All right, so we have a user manual. We've got some mounting guides, which you can stick onto the wall so that you know where the screws go. So the cameras are reminiscent of other similar third-party cameras. I've seen a few of these like this, and they do a really good job. Of course, these are newer models because they are 4K and 8 megapixel versions of that, which mine were not. Mine were 1080p, so it's nice to see that there's a new version of this here, and I'm definitely going to be upgrading the ones in my home. Let me try and open this. So when you open it on top, you can see we have the power button and the reset button here, and then it just closes back up. It's nice and weatherproof. And then on the back, we have the USB-C port, which is also weatherproof, and you can pop out this center portion just like that. That way you can actually have the USB-C cable always plugged in, and it will still be semi-weatherproof. Each one of these has a battery built into it, and it connects to the base station, and the base station connects to Wi-Fi. And of course, they've given us 2 cameras. And with those 2 cameras, we are getting 2 sets of solar panels. So very long cables on the solar panels, the perfect fit for that weatherproof port. And you're basically going to mount these in order to catch the sun, and that's going to keep these charged during the day. And then once nighttime comes and there's no more sun out, it's going to run off of the battery and keep it running through the night. And it's just going to keep on going like that. You should never have to charge them. Or if you do, it's going to be like once a month or once every few months or longer. Because, if you have really bad weather, you might have to charge it more. But as long as you've got good access to the sun, you're going to have these 24/7 online without having to recharge anything. And of course, they've given us all the mounting hardware. The mounting hardware is very easy to use. You mount this onto the wall first, And this is where the camera goes. It just slides right in, just like that. And then it pops in. Don't worry, it might seem like, oh no, you just popped it in. How are you going to get it out? Well, you just pull it out. It's not that hard. You can take them down a charge whenever you want. But that's how they work. I'll go ahead and put the other one on. And you might be wondering, well, what are these for, these little tripod mounts? Well, you mount these onto the wall, and this is what's actually going to hold your solar panel. So all you do is you twist this, and you've got a wall mount for your solar panel. The cool thing about this is you can adjust it at any angle. It has a ball joint on it, and then you can tighten it at that angle so that it stays wherever you need it to stay. Obviously, I didn't tighten it very well, but you can get it to stay wherever you need it to stay. That's pretty cool. We are given a plethora of cables here. So we have a power cable. This is a 12 volt, 1 amp, 12 watt power cable in case you lose it. That goes to the base station. We have a USB A to C cable, another USB A to C cable for the 2 cameras. We have an Ethernet cable, I assume for the base station to connect directly to the internet rather than Wi-Fi, which is pretty nice because you get a stable connection and a fast connection there. And then here is the device itself, a lot smaller than I assumed it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a really large kind of base station because of the pictures, honestly, not any other reason. But it's actually pretty small. So let me look in here. It looks like there's already an SD card in here. We've got the Ethernet port, we have the sync button, and we have a USB port here for added storage if you want to attach a external hard drive or something like that, so you don't have to worry about having a SD card slot. So very, very cool offering from Camstro. I'm excited that these are actually 4K cameras this time. Most of my cameras are 2K or 1080p, so this is going to be a nice upgrade for sure. Today we're going to check out this brand new heating and fan combo from FairUN. So this is actually really cool because it's a bladeless fan while still supporting both heating and cooling, which is actually pretty rare in bladeless fans. So I'm actually excited to try this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my knife here and just slice this open. Easy enough. So we're just gonna take this half out. We do have some documentation here. And then the fan itself. Very nicely packaged, perfectly packed in the styrofoam there. Let me just make sure there's nothing else. Nope, that's all. All right, so let's get all this plastic off. The great unveil. So check that out. This is actually a really, really nice sized fan for like a desk or even just having up in a corner somewhere. That's pretty cool. Let's go ahead and plug this in because now I've got the capability to plug stuff into my desk, which is actually pretty cool. Makes things a lot easier on the reviewing side. Whoa. Okay, so I'm just gonna plug that in. And, whoa, I didn't know it did that. So it actually rotates up and down as well to angle it, which is pretty cool. Interesting. Okay. So I already feel wind blowing out of this, which is pretty cool. Let's go ahead and press this power button and see what options we have. So once you get to power level 10, it says HH for high level. And if you press it again, it says LL for low level. If we hold it down, it oscillates. So we can see that now it's actually turning on its own. Let's go ahead and take a look because they give us a control as well here. So we're going to go ahead and pull out the plastic here for the remote. And if you'll notice, it has both heating and cooling. So if I go ahead and choose heat, you can see that it actually changes. Our lighting just kind of flickered a little bit because now it's switching to heat. And I could already feel it, so that warms up very quick. And we can raise or lower the temperature as we see fit. Or we could switch it back to fan mode, and immediately it ramps back up, and it's already getting cool again. So very, very interesting. You can have cooling, heating, or just regular air as well. You can control oscillation, nighttime mode for quiet use, as well as timers, all from the remote itself. So yeah, very, very cool offering from FairUN and a pretty cool price too. It offers pretty much everything you need for a small room or office because it's giving you not only the fan itself, but cooling, heating, all that good stuff. So today we're looking at the Arzopa Z3 FC. This is the gray model and it is a screen I've actually been very excited to check out. We actually have another Arzopa screen, which I'm going to be doing a comparison video on, so I can show you the benefits of each of these, because they're very unique but similar offerings that are going to appeal to very different audiences, even though they look very similar. So I'm excited to show you this one, and in a future video show you the comparison between the two, and help you decide which one's the best one for you. So let's go ahead and open this up. As you can see on the screen here, we do have the Arzopa up here. It's a 16.1 inch, 180 hertz, 2.5K, that's right, 2560 by 1440 Quad HD portable gaming monitor bundle. So this is actually new. Let me see what's in here. Ooh, look how nice this is. They provide an actual carrying case for the screen. Now, the screens that connect to the back of monitors, I've gotten carrying cases before, but never for the individual ones. There's always some really bulky plastic cover. This is actually a really classy, nice protective case for it. I'm definitely going to keep and use that. Right up top, we have the screen itself, which I'm actually going to set aside for a second. And we're going to look at all the other accessories. So we have a warranty card. This is a 24 plus 12-month warranty, so 3-year warranty. The product user manual to let you know how to use it. They give us a braided HDMI cable, HDMI to micro HDMI it looks like. That's interesting. High quality stuff if they're giving you braided cables on this one. That's really nice to see. A braided USB-C to C cable. And another braided USB-C to C cable with a backwards connector adapter here to be able to wrap this around the screen so you don't see a big cable sticking out. I really appreciate that, actually. So I'm going to keep this one aside because I think I want to use that one first. Anything else in here? Nope, nothing else. So let's take a look at the screen itself, because boy is this thin. Here we go. HDR technology. IPS ultra wide viewing angle display, 180 hertz refresh rate on this, which I'm still pretty shocked by. 2560 Quad HD. It is ultra lightweight. They're not lying about that. Type C adapters, ultra portable, and HDMI. So let's go ahead and peel this off. And to show you how it stands up, it's very easy. They actually have a kickstand that just sticks out like that, and you're good to go. Very easy to set up and use. We have speakers on both sides. You can see the speaker ports there. And on the other side, we have our power button, a config button, plus and minus for volume, on-screen display button. We have an HDMI, or actually micro HDMI port here, and 2 USB-C slots. You can use one USB-C slot just with your phone or device, and it will work fine. If you want it at full power, you can actually plug the second one in and get power to it as well, which is a really cool functionality, because again, this is 160 hertz, yeah, 180 hertz. So this is definitely going to take some power on the back end to reach those numbers. So they give you an option to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and plug this into the bottom port here. Doesn't really matter which one. And I'm just going to plug my phone in. So now that it's in, I'm going to go ahead and turn this display on. I'm going to go ahead and give this a bit of power on the back end as well. And there we go. We've got the video on screen. I can hit play here. And we have audio as well. So I can go ahead and turn this down here. And there you go. I won't play too much copywritten video and things like that on it, but a very capable monitor. You plug a gaming laptop into this, and it is quite a capable secondary display for when you're on the go. Gives you all the cables you might need, as well as the carrying case. You really cannot beat that. I'm super excited to put this into use. Let me know if you have any questions or comments in the comment section below, and let me know what you'd like me to do in the comparison video between the two monitors, this one for gaming and the other for art. But yeah, huge shout out to Arzopa for sending this over. Today we're looking at a pretty cool tablet from Urau. This is a fairly new company, but they have a pretty interesting offering with an octa-core processor, 24 gigs of RAM, and 128 gigs of built-in storage. They have a 8-hour battery, Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5, dual cameras, and Android 15 on this. It has 4 gigs of built-in RAM and then 20 gigs of storage-based memory to expand upon that. So we're going to go ahead and open this up and take a look because this is a pretty inexpensive offering. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. This has Ayumi AI OS. We have tried out the A10 tablet that had an Ayumi OS as well. I think it's back here. And that one has held up pretty well. So let's go ahead and see what this one's like. So immediately the tablet itself is right on top. And I love the way that they actually added the screen protector here because it shows you where everything is. So the front camera is right here on the left, volume up and down, power. They've got a micro SD card slot here as well as a Type-C port. They've got an earphone jack, which is pretty rare, 3.5 millimeter earphone jack, speaker here on the bottom, left and right, and a microphone in the center. So they're very clear as to where everything's at. We also have the rear camera and flash, and they give us a screen protector for the back. So let's go ahead and peel that off. And this one as well. So it's not like a super thin, crazy thin tablet, but it does feel very sturdy in the hands and doesn't feel flimsy at all. This feels fairly premium. The sides are plastic. The back feels like a nice aluminum metal. So pretty well thought out, I would say. Let's go ahead and turn it on and see if it has some battery. And yep, it does have battery. So let's go ahead and let this turn on. And we're in. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the install process or config process, and I'll show you what it's like. While I do that, let's go ahead and check what else is in here. We have a user manual. We've got a USB-A to C charging cable and a USB-A adapter. Yep, A adapter. Let's see what kind of rating this is at. This is a 10-watt adapter, 5-volt 2-amp. Anything else in the box? Nope, that's it. Easy enough. And it looks like it came with 92% battery already, so that's actually pretty nice for being shipped over here. And there it is. We are on Android 15. We've got an octa-core processor, facial ID, a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, 4 plus 20 gigs of memory, 128 gigs of ROM and storage, 2.4 gigahertz and 5G Wi-Fi 6. Split screen functionality if you'd like that. It's 1280 by 800, just like the Steam Deck. So this would be a great way to maybe stream that screen as well. And 8 megapixel rear camera, 5 megapixel front camera. Very, very solid device. Feels responsive. Doesn't feel like it's an old device or anything at all. It's not obviously a top of the line crazy iPad competitor, but if you have a small child who needs something to use, or if you just need something to take notes for work or things like that, this is going to do just fine. I'm going to go ahead and go into the settings and learn a bit more about the specs here. If we go into about this tablet, we do see that it is Android 15 Big Droid OS with 4 gigs and 2480 megabytes of smart storage and Ayumi OS 3.2. So yeah, pretty solid offering for a standard tablet, a 10.1 inch tablet, something you might want to use in the office or to make orders, things like that. This is going to do great, and you can't really beat a tablet for under $100, right? And this is the HG03 FPS gaming headset from Nubwo. This is a brand new one. I'm excited to try it out, and there's not much to it, but to actually unbox it and see what it features. Because on the back here, it says that there's a volume control, a speaker volume control, mic mute, and FPS game mode button. So I'm very interested to see what that does. Maybe it's an RGB thing. That'd be kind of interesting. So the packaging is a very nice fabric kind of bag there. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Oh, nice. The bag itself is actually branded and pretty sturdy too, so you can use this to carry it around for sure. The headset itself is very light, and I will say that the ear pads are very, very soft, kind of like some of the ones that I've actually purchased and placed on other headsets because I didn't like the original ones, but these actually seem like those are the ones by default, just in a weird shape. Let me see what they feel like. And they're actually really large. Obviously, I've got a big head, and this actually covers my ears completely. and is noise isolating. I can still hear myself talk, but it's definitely giving a bit of noise cancellation just on its own without being plugged in. And if we go into the cable itself, you'll see what I meant. This actually has a mute switch, so you can turn the audio on or off, a mic volume switch, and a speaker volume switch, as well as that FPS button here. So let's go ahead and plug that into something. So I tried them out on a computer, and they are very loud, very bass heavy. The sound is really nice. I think I will actually record a quick video showing the mic quality, because obviously I couldn't test that out. I only tested out the audio quality for the speakers, but that was actually pretty bass heavy and solid. I'm not quite sure what the FPS button is. When I record the mic video, I'll actually look that up and see what's going on, because I have no idea. I turned it on and off and I couldn't really tell a difference. So I'm gonna look that up and I'll let you guys know. We have a new one from Temtop. So this is actually the Temtop M10, and it is a wireless HDMI transmitter. Now we have reviewed a few of these in the past, so I'm excited to put this to use. We're gonna put this to a little test streaming across the room and kind of check the latency. This is the M10, and it is an indoor air quality testing and analysis device, which I think is super useful. We just recently reviewed the NearHub picture frame, which includes some air quality monitoring as well as temperature, but this actually gives you quite a few more options and in a much smaller form factor. So let's go ahead and peel this off here and get the full clean experience there. They also give us a USB-C cable to charge it or to plug it in. Looks like this is not a battery operated one. You do have to keep it charged. And this device can measure PM 2.5, CO2, TVOC, temperature, and humidity. So quite the powerful device. Let me try and turn this on and see if it has a battery in it. Whoa, it does. It has a battery built in, so it's not plugged in anything, and it's already reading information. So it does take some time to catch up and determine the air quality. I just had it in the box for a long time, so it's going to take a moment to kind of catch up. But that is the M10 Plus, a very, very nice constant on air quality monitor that I definitely am going to keep running in the room. I have asthma, so things like this really, really help me regulate my environment. So if I realize it's getting a little stuffy, I can open the window. I can have fans, humidity control, or even air filters to try and get through some of this. Thankfully, it hasn't gotten too bad, and living pretty comfortably thanks to devices like this. Now you can see in the top left, we do have a battery level there, so it tells you how much battery it is. There's also volume, so you can have it give you an alert if the air quality is too bad. You can also change the settings to air quality index, CO2 levels, TVOC, and PM2. And you'll see that PM2 actually looks pretty high, so it'll be interesting to look into what's causing that. So I'm very excited to do a little more research and see what this is like. But again, it takes about 10 minutes to obtain accurate results because it has been packaged for a while. So we'll leave that running for a while and I'll get back to you in a couple days. But the thing I really like about this is it has the actual color ratings. I know it's not a color screen, it's basically a black and white screen, but they give you the red, yellow, and green readings here. So if I'm like, I don't know what 100.3 PM 2.5 is, but I know that red is bad. And if I go over here and change it to CO2, I don't know what 926 is, but it's in green, so I know it's good. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this device. I'm gonna leave it running for obviously forever, but I'm gonna leave it running for about a week or two here and let you guys know what I think if I notice anything too crazy. I'll also put it next to my NearHub and compare the results and see if they get the same readings, because that'd be pretty interesting too. But yeah, this is the Temtop M10 air quality monitor. I'll put a link to this in the description below. Absolute cool product. I wasn't expecting it to have a battery built in, and that's a great touch. We are looking at the Oleap Pilot. This is a 50 decibel level open ear business headset with mic and ENC support here. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at it, because it is quite the nice box here. So very nice packaging. And to open it up, we just, ooh, look at that. How cool is that? So we're going to go ahead and open that up and see what's inside. Thanks for your support. And they even have a nice little letter from their, I assume, their founder. And look how nice this actually looks. I wasn't sure how large it was going to be, but this is actually a very sleek design here. So let me give you some close-ups here. It's very flexible here, so it'll fit a large variety of head shapes and everything. It has all the buttons you would need, as well as charging options in the back. We have a very nice button on the left side to turn it on, as well as what looks like those little speaker or mic grills in the back as well. No speaker grills, because this is the mic, obviously. So very cool device. Nice branding on the side as well. So it has ENC noise cancellation technology, and it is essentially for increasing call quality when you're using it on the go. So if you're taking a lot of calls all day, this is going to definitely help you out. It has a pop filter windshield, which I haven't even gotten to yet. Ooh, lots of accessories. We'll get to that in a second. It claims all-day comfort, which I believe, because it's very flexible and doesn't feel like it's heavy at all, so it feels like it would be very comfortable in the head, and claims to be better than bone conduction headsets. So bigger drivers, more power, smoother and stronger bass, 30-minute charging time to 100% battery, and a 16-hour playback time and 10-hour talk time. So let's go ahead and continue going through the box and then try these out and see what it's like, because I'm excited to hear the quality here. We do have a very nice, what looks like, bag for it, a faux leather bag. Oh, and we do, and it has a really cool snap open metal, I guess, magnetic hinge here to open it up. That's really neat. I've seen these before, but I don't remember where, but this is really cool. Let's continue. We've got a rubber band to keep this safe here, so all you got to do is wrap this around and push it in, and it's nice and tight. We do the same thing on this side. So very easy to store there. We have the rubber band to keep it all in place so it doesn't bend out of place or anything like that. We've got the windscreen here, which we can easily place over the mic, just like that. So if you're ever outdoors, this is going to work just fine. They've given us a replacement windscreen in case you lose one, a USB-A to C cable to charge it, and a USB-C, what I thought was an adapter. This is a USB-C wireless receiver or dongle, so you can actually connect this to your computer directly and connect through this. So that's actually really cool that they included this. And finally, we get our quick start guide, as well as information on how to Bluetooth pair it, as well as the app itself. So let's go ahead and try all that out. All right, so I've entered pairing mode just by holding down the power button, and I found the headset, the Olip Pilot P200B Pro, so all properly labeled here, and it's connected. So let's go ahead and try something it's not even meant for. Let's try with some music. Oh, it's loud. So it's loud, it's bassy. It isn't a closed ear headset, it's open, but the good thing about that is if you have these, chances are you're working in an office. Whoa, I'm gonna turn this down because you might even be able to hear that. If you're working in an office, you can actually hear other people around you because it is an open ear headset, but it's close enough to your ear and with a large enough speaker that it is actually blasting sound in there pretty loud, so you can hear it pretty well. And the quality is really good as well. I'm excited to actually put this to use in my day job, and maybe even try it on Discord, because I have a lot of meetings in Discord and Zoom and Teams that I think this is going to actually do really, really well for. And I'm excited to see what the mic quality is like on this as well. So yeah, today we're looking at the Nearity MemPod Fit 2 open ear headphones. And these are going to be very interesting because not only do they have minimal sound leakage while being open ear, but they also support AC, noise reduction for calls, hearing protection, and Hi-Fi 4 DSP. So we're going to open these up and see what they're like. You can see the style of headset here, or earphone, I guess you would say, since these are open ear. We have a user manual, a quick start guide with all of the instructions on how to activate, like turning it on, setting it into pairing mode, changing tracks, answering calls, hanging up calls, things like that. Everything will be explained here, as well as being able to use the app and connecting it to Bluetooth and having all your normal settings. We do get a USB A to C charger, and then the device itself here. Looks like that's about all that's in there. Let's go ahead and pull this out. Ooh, this is a very nice feeling and large case for these headphones. I assume there's a pretty large battery in there as well. And you can see because they're using a larger driver in these headphones, even though they're open ear, they claim to have pretty good bass as well. And the very nice, soft plastic feeling on the inside is all the way across the inside of this as well in the charger. So that's really nice to see. This feels super, super quality. Now here are the individual headsets. So let's go ahead and press the button to turn these on. We do have a quick start guide, so let's get that going. I'm going to go ahead and grab my phone so I can pair them and actually see what they sound like. I have so many headphones paired to my iPhone right now. So we already see the Nearty MemPod Fit tool on the phone. Let's go ahead and connect those. Easy enough. Let's get them on the ears. Very easy to put on, very comfortable. Let's go ahead and see what kind of sound it has. All right, so it works great. It sounds great. I'm not going to say that the bass is super crazy, but I am spoiled. I've tried a ton of high-end headphones. So these being open ear, you aren't going to expect them to be crazy bass, but they do have much larger drivers, which does give you much more of that lower tone for sure. And the audio clarity is on point as well. So no complaints there. And yeah, feels really comfortable. Very easy to maneuver and kind of get into a nice spot on your ear so that everything feels right. Active noise canceling works well. The only thing I might gripe about is there aren't too many controls. You can't change the noise canceling very easily from the headset, and you can only kind of go next, back, pause, play. But it would be nice to have some easier to access options like using your assistant or things like that. But I mean, you can't really complain. This is a really, really nice sounding set of earphones. And at $89, that's actually really not bad. We've got 45 hours of playtime with the charging case that has an added battery inside. Definitely check them out. And we are looking at the eMeet Pixie. I've actually been really looking forward to this one. It is probably the most advanced eMeet webcam that I've ever reviewed or even checked out before, and it is a definite contender to competitors like the OBSBot Tiny 2. So I'm very interested to see how it performs against the Tiny 2, especially considering the price difference. And if I can actually get it open, I'll show you guys how they both look. Now, I have collaborated with eMeet for many years now, and OBSBot I recently started collaborating with maybe 2 years now, and it's been awesome working with both of them. They make really solid cameras at affordable prices. So seeing the Pixie come out where it can do some of the things that my Tiny 2 can do, which I've actually been a really big fan of, definitely piqued my curiosity. So let's go ahead and open this up, and isn't that cute? Look at that. Little quick start guide. They give you the QR codes for the apps and all that good stuff for the manuals and everything. This is a dual camera system, which also makes for some interesting possibilities. And let's go ahead and pull this out and see what's inside. This is the accessory box. And we've got a USB-C to C cable as well as a to C adapter so that you can use it on your computer regardless of what kind of ports are available. I assume it's going to need USB 3.0 or 3.2 to run regardless, but you can do that in either USB A or C format. We have the guide and the manual here as well, including this is okay, so this is really great. So looking at this, there's a lot of features I actually liked from my Tiny 2 in this as well, including not just the tracking, because you would assume that it has tracking and face and hand commands. So you can go like that and it'll change formats or start recording. However, I really like that it has the whiteboard mode, which is where you can actually have it facing one direction. And as you're talking, if you have a board on the side that's at a slightly skewed angle, it can actually adjust that and make it almost perfectly rectangular or square. And that works for things that you're showing on the desk itself as well. Even though it's looking down at it at an angle and it's technically askew, it can adjust the picture so it looks straight, which I think is awesome. But only I can geek out over a user manual. Let's look at the device itself. So here we go. This is a lot larger than the Tiny 2, which I'm not against at all. I don't need webcam to be small. I'm a huge fan of the Elgato Facecam Pro 4K, and that is a massive webcam, and this is nothing compared to it. So I think this is a really nice form factor for a device. We have the USB port on the back, and then the dual camera system here. We have the triple mic setup on top. And on the bottom, we have a tripod mount, which they do offer some solutions for as well. Let's go ahead and open that up. This is really heavy for a mount too, so that's nice to see. They didn't skimp out on this at all. This is metal for sure. And yeah, it looks like this is a monitor mount, so you can actually screw this in to the top of your monitor. Very easy to screw on. And then you can just place this on the top of your monitor and it'll sit there and record. And because it has that wide viewing angle and can look at all directions, you're not going to really have any trouble with being able to, get the right visual angle, at least, or perspective, like you might have with a webcam that you don't want to be necessarily in front of the screen. So very nice to see there. Let's go ahead and close this up. And that's it. So nothing to it but to do it. We are going to go ahead and take this over to the desk and plug in both the Tiny 2 as well as the new eMeet Pixie and put them to the test and see what they look like. I'm also going to do a separate video diving deep into what these dual cameras can really do. Can we use it for stereoscopic 3D perhaps? Can we use it for dual recording? I'm very interested to see how this can help us in that sense as well, but that's for a later video. All right, and now we are recording on the eMeet Pixie. So I can move over here and it's following me based on where I go in the scene. So it is tracking properly. This is at 1080p 60 upscale to 4K. They do have 4K 30 as well. Let me actually show you what that looks like. All right, so here is 4K 30. So it does give you more pixels. It does give you a clearer picture, but personally for streaming, I think it's better to have 60 frames per second. So I like to have it like this, where it looks a lot better with movement. So yeah, I think this is a great setup. If I go ahead and show you my screen here, there are quite a few options that you have. If we turn on standard mode, we can adjust all the positioning. If we go to privacy mode, it shuts itself off and it actually turns the camera so you can't see it. And when we turn it back on, we can see it again. If we go to tracking mode, it will center itself on my face. We can go to effects and see lots of different effects, including making the scene brighter, so it's more dynamic for streaming. There's nostalgia, which gives it a nice little hue to it, and lots of other ones, including full customization, where you can adjust everything to your needs. I think the default is pretty true to life. And then if we go to assistance, we can choose focus metering, as well as automatically entering privacy mode and automatically rotating when upside down, and even includes gestures. If I open up the preview, we actually have more options, including script generation that uses AI, mixing to mix in audio with the mics that are built into the webcam and your own mics as well. And you can listen to that back and see what the quality is like. You can choose filters from this display and dash as well. And then we have a desk view, which will actually show what's on your desk in a flattened view, and a whiteboard mode, which if I let it see my whiteboard, maybe it's going to see it. And you can see here, I've turned whiteboard mode on and it sees the monitor I have in the background as a square shape, and it adjusts it so that it's straight. Now, I didn't adjust the individual items. You can actually adjust it quite a bit more. For example, if I go in here and I can actually draw the lines exactly like you want it to be. And I just kind of went really quick, so it's not perfect. But if we choose whiteboard mode, it enters the mode just like that. And I'm still right here, but it's actually displaying perfectly back there, which I think is really, really cool. Now it's time to try out the ObsBot Tiny 2 and see what the quality is like in comparison. All right, and here we are on the ObsBot Tiny 2. Same deal, we have it at 1080p, 60 frames per second. I can go ahead and show you what this looks like at 4K as well. And again, we are not able to get 60 frames per second on the ObsBot either, but it does support 4K just like the eMeet Pixie. So let's go ahead and switch that back. And there we go. Looking at the ObsBot Center, we do have the standard things like autofocus, focus mode, auto exposure, and things like that, as well as consoles for tracking. So let's go ahead and set up normal tracking. And if I move over here, you can see it's following me over there. If I move over here, it's following me that way. It is a bit of a slower tracking, but you can change the tracking speed as well. So it's a little faster on that, which is kind of nice. But generally the same kind of setup. You also have the desk mode and whiteboard mode and gestures as well. So that's really cool. And of course, the standard adjustments here to actually control the gimbal. So both of these are very, very comparable. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, which one is higher quality, because the eMeet is, I believe, about half the price of the ObsBot Tiny 2, if I'm not mistaken. So if they're pretty similar quality, the eMeet might be a pretty cool way to go. We're looking at one of the smallest, if not the smallest, at least in terms of the newer products, power banks on the market. This is the Inui P50 10,000 milliamp hour power bank, which we can see being shown off. Well, actually, that was a different one, but we've got a ton of products from the Inui, so this is going to be really fun to see. Let's see if they actually have the P50. Yeah, see, here is the P50. And they're able to do this with some really, really cool battery technology. So not only is the battery itself a new type of efficient battery that's really, really thin, but the display itself is paper thin as well. So before much more ado, let's go ahead and open this up and take a look at the device itself, because I'm interested to see how small this really is. So we're just going to pull this out. We've got a user manual here. And that's all there is to it. The device itself right here, this is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. Believe it or not, this tiny little thing right here is 10,000 milliamp hours with a built-in screen. So fits in the palm of your hand. And you might be asking, cool, but now I gotta carry a battery and a cable. So Inui has been doing this really cool thing with their lanyards. This lanyard right here, this is actually the cable itself. Watch this. So all I do is I pop that out and pop this out, and you've got a USB-C to USB-C cable here that you can use to charge your device. Then when you're done, all you do is you plug it back in just like that, and you've got a secure lanyard again. Now, in terms of inputs and outputs, both of the USB-Cs can be used as input or output, and the USB-A is output only. Now, how fast are each of these? It does specify that there are two 5,000 milliamp hour batteries, making up the 10,000 milliamp hour total. And it looks like the USB-Cs can do 20 watts, 20 watts and 45 watts, and the USB-A port can handle 18 watts max. So there is a 45 watt USB-C port in here, so it will work with things like the Steam Deck or the Nintendo Switch. So very nice to see that as well. Fast charging power bank designed by Inui, and it's honestly super, super small, compact, and really, really cool with that new USB cable design. All right, so we've got a weird one for you. Now, this is an Amazon product, and so we have done spy cameras before, hidden cameras, nanny cams, any kind of tech we've basically done, including spy tech. But this is something I've never seen before, and it's kind of funny. So before I show you, let me pull out the accessories. So I'm going to hide this for now. We have a user manual. We have a USB-A to C adapter. We have a little pin. We have a USB-A to C cable. And we have a USB 2.0 micro SD card slot or adapter. Now, the interesting thing is this is a spy cam, but it's shaped like a set of car keys. So almost like a fidget toy, you can flip it open and close it just like a real set of car keys, except there is nothing in here except a hidden camera. So you can just say like, all right, well, I'm gonna record this and just drop it down, and it's recording in full 1080p onto the micro SD card on it. That's pretty wild. So when it's open, you can't see anything inside. However, if you take off this back slot here, then all of a sudden, all the adapters, the micro SD card slots, the USB-C port, all of that becomes visible. So it's literally a little magic trick. It hides them here and it closes up so it looks like a standard set of keys. But everything you actually need is right there. So you can hold your SD card, which, let's check this out here. So it looks like this comes with a 64 gigabyte SD card. So not too shabby at all. It records an AV1, which is a very highly performant compression algorithm. They were looking at the Melanair PM2. So if we scroll down here, we'll see that we have a ton of Melanair products available. So what we're looking for is the PM2, and here it is. So this is a portable in-ear monitor system. This goes great with the other Melanair products we recently reviewed, including their wireless and wired mic systems. But the cool thing about this one is it comes in its nice, its own nice little all-in-one case. So that's really cool to see. I'll get to that in a second, but we got some accessories here. You know, I love me some accessories. So we have a 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter 1/4 adapter here. We have a USB-A to C cable. We have a USB-C to C braided cable. And we have a 3.5 millimeter to 3.5 millimeter stereo, not TRSS. And then if we get to the box itself, here it is, the Melanair PM2. We open it up. Very, very nice, clean system. Let's go ahead and take these out. So 1, 2, 3. So we have one transmitter here. This is basically where the audio is going to be sent from. We're going to go ahead and take off the bottom plastic here because that's how it's going to charge, because the case is its own charger as well. So when you drop this in, it's going to start charging that. So let's go ahead and take all these plastics off. And here we go. So now it shows that they are all charging. So the way this works is you have a transmitter. On the right side, you can have the volume up and down buttons. On the left side, you have a charger as well as OTG cable support for audio, as well as 3.5 millimeter in. And then we have the power button on top. When we hold this down, you can see that it shows us whether it's in stereo or mono and whether it's linked to the other devices. If we tap it again, you'll see it switches between stereo and mono. So if we pull one of these out and hold the power button, this is the receiver. You can see that both of them immediately lit up to show that they're connected and in stereo. Now on the receiver, we have a headphone out and a USB charger here. And of course, we have the volume as well. So from one output device, you can have two different devices or two listeners being able to monitor things live wirelessly. That is really, really cool and goes really well with their lapel mic system. You can just plug a little earbud in here and listen to it. You can plug a lapel mic over here if you need someone to hear your tasks or whatever it is you're saying, depending on your application. This is really, really useful. So yeah, shout out to Melanair. I'm excited to try this out, check out the quality of it and everything like that. It's a little difficult to actually show on video because, again, these are receiving audio. So I might do an output here to a sound card or something, that way you can actually hear it. But for now, I am very excited to try these out. Now, about the specs, we are using 24-bit, 48 kilohertz audio, so very much studio quality sound. And this is good for live shows, studios, and bands, so latency is going to be absolutely minimal on these. It's going to be really, really good. It's on the 2.4 gigahertz band, so make sure that there isn't too much other operating signal on that band if you are in like an apartment complex with like 50,000 Wi-Fi signals at that band. Maybe it's going to have some trouble fighting over it, but generally you're going to be pretty good on that. And it has a range of up to 150 feet. So 150 feet, low latency, wireless monitoring for what, $60 right now? That's an absolute steal. And this is the BJ PKPK, and I'm MikeTheTech. I forgot to introduce myself this time. That's weird. But this is a really nice 40-ounce insulated water bottle. So let's go ahead and pull this out. It's more like a jug, really. This is really cool. So 40 ounces, and you get a really nice handle here that you can actually connect to your lanyard or things like that, or use it as an actual handle. And then of course we have the lid, and this is a plastic lid. We do have a topper here, which is really, really cool. If you actually look at this, when you close it, it snaps on. And when you press this button right here, it pops the button open and it lifts open. So has a really clean seal there. If we open this up, you'll notice that it also has a grate here for a bit of filtering. And a few more goodies inside. We've got our manual here, which says that this can insulate hot beverages for 12 hours and cold beverages for 24 hours. Made of food grade stainless steel interior and exterior. And the internal walls won't affect the external walls, so it's never going to feel hot or cold on the outside, or at least not overly hot or cold. They also gave us a nice sticker here. That's always fun. And it looks like they gave us that lanyard we were talking about. So all we need to do is snap this on here, and we'll do the same on this side. We'll close the safety lid. We'll close the top lid. And now we have a nice way to just go ahead and carry it on our shoulder or things like that. So very cool stuff. Shout out to BJPK, and I am a pretty big fan of this. I mean, I use insulated cups, and this is a lot more travel safe. Most of the insulated cups I have are for home use. They don't have these kinds of lids or safety mechanisms or anything like that. So this is actually pretty cool. It's a nice little on-the-go cup. Today we're looking at the Telesin Smart Magnetic Neck Holder. This is a neck mount for phones, and honestly a lot more. If you put one of those MagSafe little sticker magnets on pretty much anything. I've even used a Steam Deck on here. It's pretty crazy. I have a very similar Telesin model, but this is actually a new version that I'm excited to try out. All right, so let's go ahead and open this up. They've got the easy open packaging here. No knife needed, and easy as that. We've got a bit of a lanyard here. We've got the neck mount itself. We have a wrist mount. We have that MagSafe magnet we just talked about. We've got a screen cleaning cloth and wet wipes and the user guide, but this is pretty self-explanatory. If we open this up, we can see that this goes around your neck, and you might be wondering to yourself, you might ask yourself, why is it so small? How am I going to get my head around this? Well, it's actually really easy. They've got a trick. See this little button right here? All you got to do is pop that out and it comes out. So you just wrap it around your neck and plug it in. Now that you have it all set, you can actually adjust it, and it's actually pretty soft on the other side. They have some rubber there, so it's not going to dig into your chest or anything. And then you just grab a phone and snap it on. You can snap it on any way you'd like and adjust it, whether you want it to be vertical or horizontal and at any angle as well, which is really cool. So I could just walk around and record here, or what I use it for sometimes, my other one, is I'll do like an unboxing and be recording right in front of what I'm doing. So it's very easy to record that way. So yeah, definitely check it out in the link below. And for the price, you can't really beat something like this. It's just super useful. We are looking at the rim thin lighting kit for your vehicle. This is a HID lighting kit, and this particular one is an H4 model, but they have H13, 9004, and 9007. So check your car, see what kind it uses, and then definitely check these guys out. It has a 50,000 hour lifespan on this, and this is a 6,000K kit. If we go ahead and open this up, we can see that it's very nicely packed, including with a user manual. I'm going to very gently pull this out, and you'll see that these are LED HIDs. So you don't have to worry about getting your fingers on any cathode rays or anything like that. These are full super bright LEDs. And this is a metal or aluminum probably housing for this style of kit. So we have two lights here, one for each headlight, and it has a built-in fan to keep these cool as well, which is a really nice touch. So yeah, there's nothing to it but to actually install these. These are again the H4s, and we'll get these installed in our truck and see what they look like. Okay, we're looking at the Ugreen AX900. So this is a Wi-Fi 6 adapter, and I actually got it for this display right here. Look at that price, $11.99 on sale, and shocker, the horrible price, $12.99 when it's not on sale. You can't really beat those prices. So I'm actually excited to see what kind of speeds we get on this, and we're gonna try it out right here on the screen. So we have our user manuals, all the normal stuff. I don't think we need any specific drivers for this at all, but here is the actual device. So very small form factor. Let's go ahead and open this up. Right here, the Ugreen AX900. This is, like I said, Wi-Fi 6, and hopefully a better experience than what I have currently set up. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and do a speed test. And I am just going to come over here and unplug the Ethernet cable. And we're just gonna connect to the internet. We'll do the Ookla speed test. I tend to trust them pretty well. And we're just gonna see what the speed is with the Wi-Fi there, because the antennas are in the back. So with the antennas in the back, I have a worry that they're not gonna be that great. But by putting this in the front of the screen, we might get a better result. So let's try it without. This is just a standard adapter here. Let's go ahead and allow. We got about 275. Now, mind you, this is a house that has 5.5 gigabit per second fiber internet up and down. So this isn't amazing. So we even got an error. Now let's go ahead and try this again, see if maybe it was just waiting from the connection. But we're already seeing some of the issues that happen with the current setup because the antennas are behind this big metal TV. So 320, not too bad. And upload seems to be about the same. So let's go ahead and go into our Wi-Fi settings. And we're gonna turn off the old adapter. So network and internet, we're gonna go to advanced, and then we're gonna go and turn off Wi-Fi and Ethernet. All right, now we have no internet, and I'm gonna plug this in and see what happens. All right, so we've plugged it in. I may have made a slight mistake by turning off the internet because that also means we can't download the drivers automatically, even if they did exist. So let's go ahead and turn that back on. Now on the Ugreen, we're given a setup, so let's go ahead and run that. So I guess we didn't have to connect to the internet to get the drivers. They're actually on the drive itself, which I'm always curious. Never mind, it's 4 megabytes. And there we go. Now we have the Ugreen Wi-Fi 6. So let's go ahead and, actually we are on the Ugreen, right? Yeah, I think we are. So disable this one. No, we were on this one. Never mind. Okay, so that's disabled. That's not connected. Perfect. I'm a mess, guys. We're gonna go over here and we're gonna see if we can find our network. I gotta enter a password. Don't look at my password. And we're connected. So we're gonna reload the page over here. Let's head back to speed test. What do you think? Is it gonna get better or worse? I actually have no idea. We're gonna find out today. It got worse, guys. I went out of my way to buy a new Wi-Fi card so that I could get a better connection. And it's 130 megabytes per second slower. So this ad is no longer about Ugreen, I guess. This ad is about this near hub display because it has a rather banger of a Wi-Fi card built in. Let's see if we can give this a little chance though. Let's go into our settings here and see what it's like. We're on 5 gigahertz. We're getting 540, 432. So not an amazing connection even being there, I guess. That's kind of interesting. We've got full connectivity. Let's do TX activity. Let's see. Oh, I'm in the way and it's worse. No, it's just not great. They can't all be winners. Sometimes a $12 card is just a $12 card, right? To be honest, it's fairly steady connection, I guess. It's 100 to 200 megabits per second. If that is around the range that you need, this is gonna do just fine. The router is actually pretty far away, so it's doing all right. but I think it didn't quite live up to my expectations this time. Maybe go for a Wi-Fi 7 card or something. Sorry. We're looking at VCBox's brand new V6 Max. Now this is an Android 14 box, and I'm really excited to check it out and check out the specs because it's set to be probably one of the new boxes that I use on a regular basis right next to my V8. So here is the VCBox V6 Max. It's got 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of hard drive space, but of course you do get the micro SD card slot as well as USB ports, so you can plug in anything you need. This is said to support up to 8K. Obviously that depends on the media you're playing through it, but we see a very familiar design from VCBox here. We've seen similar VCBoxes with this wavy pattern on top, and it's a really nice, cool looking design. So very easy to power, 5 volts, 2 amps, and it's powered through a standard wall port. We have a Ethernet port here, a USB 2 port, a USB 3 port, HDMI, as well as a micro SD card slot, audio video for composite component, and our 5 volt 2 amp power plug here. Nothing on the sides or fronts aside from the display, which tells you what time it is, as well as which settings you're using and things like that. You can customize it. Now going through the accessories, we've got the power plug here, which again is only 5 volts, 2 amps, very low power. Could probably be powered via USB if they really wanted to. Let's go ahead and pull this out. We have an HDMI cable. It's always nice that they include a free one. And then this is really cool. Now, batteries are not included, so I'm gonna go grab some, but this is their brand new backlit remote. So their other remotes were very similar. I've always been a fan of their remotes. They give you the mouse control, they give you instant app buttons, they give you pretty much everything you need, but now they've upgraded it and added backlit buttons. That way, if you're watching a movie with the lights off or whatever, you can still see everything on the remote itself, which is really cool. Let me go grab some batteries for that. All right, so I've got some batteries here. Let's go ahead and plug them in and see what this backlight looks like. Ooh, that is clean. So you can see right here, it's got a very nice, easy to see backlight for all the keys. I'm not actually sure how easy it is to see with my studio lighting, but that is actually very, very cool that every single button seems to be lit up. So it's off, and then it's on. So that's actually a pretty good representation right there. So I'm excited for that. And finally, we've got the VCBox manual here. So I'm pretty familiar with how to set up a VCBox, so we're actually going to get that set up right here on this screen so you can see what's actually included, because a lot of their boxes look the same, but it's really what's on the inside that counts. So it's going to be cool to see this on the screen and working. All right, so we've got the VCBox plugged in, but I'm going to go one step further and plug in the touchscreen monitor to this as well. Now let's go ahead and enable the controller. We just have to press the plus and volume down buttons, or hold them. But we don't even need the controller because I've got a touchscreen set up now, so we can go ahead and choose US and go through the entire setup right here with you guys. We're going to set the scale. Now we're going to use Wi-Fi here, so let's go ahead and connect. And now that we're connected, we're given our standard disclaimer that the box itself doesn't come with anything nefarious or illegal, but you can use the box to access quite a few things. So if it's not legal in your jurisdiction, you might want to look into that before you use it. But here is the box itself, a very, very familiar offering. We're used to this interface. It's really clean. This time we're running on Android 14, so it's way more up to date than some of the Android 12 boxes. We still have our standard Google Play Store, Prime Video, Netflix, YouTube, all this good stuff here. However, we are given the very, very popular suite of Heat apps, and this is where you're going to get all of your favorite shows, movies, and subscription-based items absolutely for free through these apps. So Heat Live is for live TV, Heat VOD is for video on demand from TV shows, Ultra and Backup are movies and TV shows as you would find them on other networks. So let's go ahead and try one of those out. I'm going to go to VOD Ultra, And we're just going to hit this download button. And just like that, it downloads, authenticates, and lets you get right into the experience. No logging in, no accounts. Once you buy the box, everything is linked to that box. So now that it's loaded, you can actually see all of the content styles that are available here. So you can go to movies or TV shows as you'd expect. If we go to movies, we'll have to give it some time to load. Let's head back out and go back to movies. There we go. So if we go to movies, we can see it has all of the latest movies sorted by not only the genre here, so you can choose comedy, for example, but it's also sorted by the network you would normally find them on. So if you know that, well, I like to watch a certain show from a certain network, you can find it on here and access the same show through this network, which is really cool to see. In fact, it's so cool, I can't even show you what's happening on this screen right here. So that is VOD Ultra. If we go to TV series, we have a very similar experience here. Let's go ahead and make sure that gets loaded. It does take some time the first time you start up the app. So let's get out of that. And there they go. So once it loads up, you have all of these shows here sorted by exactly the same thing. You get your genres and your networks here. Now, if I exit this and head back home, we can choose, for example, Heat Live. Heat Live is a different offering because it's not necessarily TV shows and movies that are already existing, but instead it's live channels from not only local sources, but global sources as well, including pay-per-view events as well for no pay-per-view, right? So if we hit episode guide, we can see here that we have all of these standard channels that you would expect across the network, all sorted by local, national, sports, and you can set your own favorites as well. If we change the channel, you'll see that we have a very easy to navigate larger menu for the episode guide, or not necessarily episode guide, but channel guide, where you can go through and see what is on each individual channel, as well as navigate to specific types of events or networks as well, which is really, really awesome. So not only do you get the free live TV and live pay-per-view side of it, but you also get the free video on demand for movies and TV shows as well, including the VODs and backup by Heat, which is really useful, not just because it's another source for content, but because if any of these either ever go down, which, you know, with AWS it's happened before, you can easily just jump onto another app and see what servers are available there, which is really great for when they have to go through certain types of network congestion or things like that. But honestly, with VCBox, I've had zero issues. This is the brand I use in my home, and I've received a lot of TV boxes. So go through my channel, check out all the different TV boxes I've used. VCBox is the one that I actually stick with because it's really good. I do have other TV boxes that I enjoy and have really good features like quad USB ports and things like that. But honestly, VCBox has been the most intuitive and easy to use, and that's what I use. So yeah, definitely recommend them. I'll put a link to them in the description below. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Peace.